we feel like this is important. It'll be really great for morale and also help restore our competitive position in the regional marketplace for our staff. Happy to answer any questions that y'all might have, but that's our plan.
Councilor Withers.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Woodley, so this would not take effect until October. Is that what you're saying? In other words, this would not be back pay?
We're not proposing back pay. We're proposing to, one, restore the salaries that were reduced for those that had the reduction, and then two, give everyone a 1% pay adjustment on top of that. And we would make that effective October 3rd.
Good job.
All right. Councilor Devine, did I see you? Oh, all right. Councilor Kelly.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mark, anything we can do for the employees is a step in the right direction, but I think we do owe a bit of an explanation to the public when we say we think we have the funds available. Can you get a little bit more detail? Because we are talking about an operational cost that's going to carry through, and I would be interested to know what funding sources we're looking at to do this, because we've already spent a lot of money outside budget on other things, and I just want to be able to see where we're going with this.
Yes, sir. We have transit funds that are separate for transit, and that'll take care of transit. Transit did receive major federal support for the next 2 cycles. The rest of this, we have several sources that we'll be drawing on, including contingency, and we're looking at a couple of revenues that will be better than what we thought. I want to be careful about the CARES Act money, but that does, in ways that are allowed under the CARES Act, free up. The way that the CARES Act is structured, we're allowed to say that the public safety salaries under the CARES Act responds to the pandemic as a presumption. And our neighboring jurisdictions are doing this type of thing where they're saying, okay, we'll charge some of our salaries to the CARES Act. We're planning to do the same thing to a large extent. We're planning on about $1.6 million of our salaries and benefits being charged against the CARES Act. We acknowledge that is one-time money, and it does expire in December. But that amount of money will free up a lot in the budget to cover any gap that we need to for the remainder of these adjustments. We do not want to get too aggressive with the adjustments, just for the reason that it is, we are looking at 22 and beyond. We know this is sort of a one-time thing, but that is the plan. We have the resources available to advance the employees, and we feel like it's important to do so.
Thank you.
Right. Councilor Graham.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Woodley, I fully support this measure, and I appreciate everything that you and the rest of the staff have done to make this happen. And I want to applaud everyone on staff for all the hard work that they've done, in spite of the pandemic and the pay cut on top of it. And I just hope that this can show that, we truly do appreciate all the efforts in spite of all the hardships that they've faced over the past 6 months. So thank you very much for what you're doing to help.
Councilor Duffy.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to echo what Mr. Graham said, that our staff has been asked to sacrifice so much for this city to continue working as it does, a city that works for everyone. And I just want, as a public service announcement, remind everyone the best way for us to at least continue with recovery from this pandemic is that we're all going to wear masks, we're all going to socially distance, and we're all going to wash our hands frequently. That's the only way we're going to find our way out of this. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Brian.
Thank you, Mayor Greenlaw. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties, so I just wanted to say thank you and thanks to all the employees. I don't want to stay on the microphone too long.
All right, Councilor Devine.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would like to just add my thanks to all staff and remind people that it's not just the visible staff. There's so many layers to our city staff, our city government. But things like public works that, they didn't miss a beat, collecting trash and recycling and keeping, maintaining things. Parks and Rec, very creatively pivoted and started doing take home kits and planning some outdoor events at this time. Economic development and tourism, really helped with, getting funds, much needed funds to our small businesses in town, as well as continuing to work on big projects, along with planning, IT department that, really was the backbone of a lot of employees being able to work from home and being able to reach our residents, social services, HR, city attorney, fire department, police department. I don't know if I said finance, but finance going from one budget that was really nice, March 10th, to basically throwing it out and starting from scratch in a very, short period of time. And then I hope I haven't missed a department. I was trying to list them. So if I have, my apologies. It's not anything but my own hurried thoughts. But I guess finally, I just want to really thank the city manager's office and everybody who works out of there, because I would just thank city manager and the staff in that office for their leadership and just really leading by example to, show everybody that, I guess, how it's done. And so I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you very much.
Well said. Well said indeed. Councilor Kelly?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to echo what my colleagues have been talking about. In a very trying time, we take a lot for granted that the water is hot and cold and clean, that the streets are safe, that the trash is picked up, that our kids get to school. Things that we just automatically assume are going to happen because a lot of people put in a lot of time and effort in a very trying time. And for some of us who've been around a lot, our staff has gone through a lot. If we go back not too long ago when we were having to downsize because of another economic situation and people were doubling up on jobs and taking care of things, this staff that we have had, and especially the long-term staff, have been through a lot. And again, for most residents of Fredericksburg, we kind of take it for granted. And I would really suggest that people start taking a moment when they're outdoors and seeing somebody working on a street or doing something and saying thank you to them, as well as, of course, the staff that we have at City Hall and the other departments. But again, we all look at the great and when the things that are building and the ribbon cuttings and everything else like this and the construction and the new business and all these things that do happen that we see. But a lot of what goes on in the city goes on by people because of people who, frankly, we as residents take for granted that they're there and these things are going to happen. And they deserve, frankly, a huge thank you from everybody, especially under these trying circumstances.
Councilor Withers?
Yeah, I can't be left out on this. And I'm not going to echo this, but I do want to say a huge thank you to the city manager and his staff and all their employees for the outstanding job that they've done under extremely hard circumstances. It's very, very much appreciated.
Well, not only have the circumstances been difficult, but we've had to furlough people, so staff members have had to do, their job and part of somebody else's, and then we ask them to take a pay cut. I mean, really, and not a single complaint. As Councilor Devine said, nobody missed a beat. The work kept going on, and it kept being done in a not just a competent manner, but in a dedicated manner, really, really intent on seeing that the city is run well and that the residents are served as they need to be in every way. We received a report tonight, a quarterly report on the priorities that the council set. That report was full of activity, hard work. Nobody stopped, nobody hesitated. Everybody just got it done. So we just want the staff to know how much we appreciate them. And I am so very glad to be able to not just restore salaries, but to offer a small increase as well. Councilor Withers?
Just one more quick thing. Don't forget our city clerk, who is county clerk, who has done an outstanding job doing all this stuff. So
Yeah,
I mentioned that. I just wanted to make sure that we didn't leave that out.
we don't want to leave the clerk's office out, and we don't want to leave the attorney's office out either. Absolutely. Now, we're a team. The staff is a team, and that has been the wonderful leadership that I credit Mr. Baruti and his executive team for providing. Everybody pulling together as they need to and when we need them. So thank you very much. All right, we have come to the period of. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilor Fry. And Vice Mayor Fry, you and I both getting bad time.
I'm sorry. I had to step outside real quick because I got to jump in and just say something. I couldn't sit there that much longer without throughout everything that was happening with the pandemic and everything that the staff had to deal with. And I know I'm saying everything that you guys said, but even the fact that we went through everything that happened in our city with the protests and everything, it took everything to a whole nother level. When we were already going through the pandemic and the way that everybody pulled together. And I think even as council, I think we all became a lot closer with a lot of those late night phone calls, trying to figure out what we're going to do, on council and how we're going to help our city. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well, because that was a component that nobody thought was going to happen. And it put, I wouldn't use the word strain. It put more work on a lot of people, and to keep everything moving was huge. And this was day to day. I mean, every day something different was happening. So I just wanted to add that part to it, Mayor Greenlaw, and then I'm going back to my technical difficulties.
Well, you're still with us. Whatever your technical difficulties are, you're still with us. All right. Now, I think we have reached the period of the meeting where we have comments from the public. Madam Clerk?
Councilor Devine. Councilor Devine.
Oh, sorry. I keep missing
Thank you,
people.
Madam Mayor and Madam Clerk. I just wanted to say it almost sounds like we're, patting everybody on the back and patting ourselves on the back as if we're done with the pandemic. And I just want to reiterate what Dr. Duffy said earlier, that first of all, we're still in this. We're not done. And please, as we move forward, remember to take the advice of, the scientists and the doctors who are telling us to do what Dr. Duffy reminded us to do. Wash your hands, wear your masks, keep social distance, because we're not done by any means. So I just want everyone to understand that we're not moving forward as if we're over with this, but thank you.
Thank you. You're so right. You're so right.